Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of Shampoo Siddheshwari Mahavidyalaya, I welcome all of you. All of us are passing through a very difficult time, and Shampoo Siddheshwari Mahavidyalaya is organizing a series of programs so that our search for academic excellence moves on. With that in mind, the economics department of the college and the IQSE has organized a webinar where Dr. Atanu Sengupta is going to talk about COVID-19 and its socio-economic implications. I welcome all of you here on this platform today. We will begin our program by the welcome message of our principal, sir. Thank you very much. So thank you all. We must also offer our thanks to the President of our governing body, Honorable Sri Kalipada Mondol, who has been a constant inspiration for us, and also Sri Nodebasi Jana, Honorable Member of the governing body, who has always welcomed any effort undertaken by any of the department of the IQAC of the college. May I now request Dr. Sanjoy Dev, the head of the Department of Economics, to welcome and introduce the resource person today, Dr. Atanu Sengupta from the University of Burdwan. Sanjoy, the stage is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajashrida. Am I audible? Am I audible? Thank you, Rajashrida, and good afternoon,
Yes,
everybody. On behalf of the Department of Economics and IQSE of Shampoo Siddheshwari Mahavidyalaya, I would like to first welcome our guest, Professor Atanu Sengupta, Department of Economics, Burdwan University. I would also like to welcome all the participants present at this webinar. Before handing over to Professor Sengupta, I would like to say a few words about him. Sir has obtained his PhD from Economic Research Unit, Indian Statistical Institute, Kolkata. Before that, he was awarded the gold medal for being first class first in MSc Economics from Burdwan University. Before joining Burdwan University, Sir adorned the faculty position in the Department of Economics of Vidyasagar University, Ananda Mohan College, and Govardhana Hindu College. Sir possesses an amazing, enriching, and invaluable research credentials. His papers, published in various highly reputed national and international journals, such as Economic and Political Weekly, Shankho, Social Indicators Research, International Journal of Education and Development, Asia Pacific Journal of Education and Development, are frequently referred. He has published almost a dozen of books, including from Springer, Routledge, and Cambridge. He has some edited books in his name also. Sir has supervised 15 PhD theses and 6 MPhil dissertations. A few PhDs and MPhil's awardees are in the pipeline too. Now I heartily welcome Professor Sengupta to grace the occasion. It's offered to Sir now.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to thank the authorities of the Shampoo Siddheshwari Mahavidyalaya for giving me this excellent opportunity to express on a ongoing crisis that has engulfed the entire world and also India. We are here and as a research scholars and student of economics in general and maybe in social science. There are many observations, many questions, many things that come into our mind. Some of them are not acting in our mind, and some may come in the future. But all these tribulations, these waves, always and we will try to, we are all trying to engage ourselves. As for myself, I many research scholars, Sanjay himself, Ashish Pal, Ujjwal De, Anirban Hajra, um, and uh, we are trying to fathom some of the problems, some of the questions that this pandemic has brought. Now, there has been a lot of talks of this pandemic will be and are going on. Now, I have particularly emphasized on one aspect, the economic impact of COVID-19. Now, uh, if we start with the as such, then first, pandemic is something new to this world or to human beings. According to the anthropologists, when man started a set from agriculture, various infectious diseases began to emerge. Maybe with animal has several life. This has been noted by the famous anthropologist and historian Pablo Noah. Man has experienced pandemic from time onwards. Many of them are documented, many of them are not documented. It's a very long history. And if we start to be a very brief, things have been lost maybe due to pandemic. Some say that the great Indus Valley civilization has been lost due to pandemic. The Mayan civilization probably has been wiped. As for the documentation of pandemic, the first authentic documentation comes from the Greek historian Thucydides about the pandemic that has broken in Athens. After that, we have many other instances such as Black. Many times the bubonic plague has brought havoc to the man's life. In literature and also in the social, many mentioned of them. For example, Daniel Defoe, who was the famous author of Robinson Crusoe, he also wrote a journal of the plague year in 1722. This was about the plague that has ravaged London. Now, if I a very interesting quote which we have put in our one of our papers which is published in mainstream, we see how eerie similarity is there between what before saw and what. Indeed, nothing was to be seen but wagons and carts with goods, women, servants, children, and etc. etc. Coaches filled with sword and horsemen attending them and all hurrying. If we compare them with the horde of the migrant workers that India has seen, how the picture becomes. After that, we have some depiction by Mary Frankenstein and by Mary Shelley, who was the wife of in his famous book or the novel The Last Man, or Albert Camus about even the 1000 Years of Solitude. That was the Nobel winning book that was also referring something of that. The main question is what happens during pandemic, or what are the effects of pandemic, and how do we study the socio-economic impact of pandemic? That is what in which I wish to stress. Now, pandemic is a situation where diseases, contagious diseases, fast in a population, a group of population, so that people become affected by it, and that rate is so high, outstrips all the common norms of infection. And in many of these pandemic, as Noah has, Pablo Noah, okay. In all those previous pandemic, even the 1918-20, the great influenza pandemic, which were man's knowledge was very limited. Man did not knew very much about the germs that caused the pandemic, the reasons for pandemic. People thought it was bad air. Some thought it was the foul climate. Even in Athens, they thought it was the Spartans who poisoned the water and so on. Comparing this to the current pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, that we have a much better knowledge. Within weeks of spread of pandemic from China, we had a entire genetic of the virus which was revealed to everybody. So, from the point of view of knowledge, biological knowledge, ahead, considering all the past pandemics, even the 1918 pandemic. But the great twist or turn in the tale is that we are facing like the Greek tragedy. That is, we know our fate, but we do not know how it comes. With all these hosts of knowledge, even with all these literature and scientific work on genotype and etc., are seeming to not to be of much better condition than we were in the last 1980, 90. Regular in internet, you can see there are almost similar stories using masks, maintaining social distance, living in separate, and so on and so forth, and various types of drugs are being tested. No particular drugs are found. Various drugs, some anti-flu drugs, even anti-malarial drugs, anti-AIDS drugs, and we are still far off from knowing how perfectly, though we that how that even the disease spread is still a mystery. It is true that it traces to personal contact, but there are some speculation. We do not know how much time it survives in various materials and so on and so forth. Now a race is going on for vaccine. There is also a lot of debate when it will come, how it will be effective and all. So this is the strange thing with Noah says in 2019, when man thought they have attained the pinnacle of when man is trying to venture how the universe is created in the deep space, and when man has the artificial life, how is it possible that our condition is exact? I would not say exactly, but not much different from the bubonic plague or maybe 1989 pandemic. Situation is almost same. Various alternative medicine school comes up, homeopathic drug, people make nine to take homeopathy. Homeopathic business is flourishing according to the recent report. Lot of profits are made by the homeopathic. Ayurveda comes up with its own solution and so on and so forth, and all types of solutions of eating cow urine and so on and so forth, and various types false knowledge, superstitions come up. Why they come up? When we criticize this, we have to see that they come up because the hard science which we have leaving us almost helpless. Some of us have already seen the various prescriptions that are prescribed for the COVID. They're simple prescriptions. Some paracetamol for reducing the viral drugs, reducing temperature, sorry. Some anti-allergic drugs, and rest. And if you are good enough, lucky enough, if your body immune is very good, then you may survive. Otherwise, you may have problem of breathing, then you have to you have to be given the oxygen support and so on and so forth. But you see, you compare it with any other example. In the case of malaria, we have a perfect drug. In the case of tuberculosis, we have a perfect drug. Polio is already eradicated. Not eradicated, but still can be arrested and so on and so forth. First, one answer some of the scientists tried to give novel virus or virus is unknown, only we knew it 6 months. But recently, many articles which are coming from the American immunology of the world makes a lie to this problem. We already with these is not a something new. There were already a Mars setup, and those viruses were very similar to the COVID-19 virus. It is even similar to the common cold virus. Not which we will be chillingly find that many scientific and non-scientific and semi-scientific descriptions that such a scenario may occur. And for example, if, the book that I am reading currently, which was by a specialist who got Nobel Prize for discovering the AIDS virus. The book was written in 2009, 8, and that time that a virus can come, which can spread very fast through the brain or through, and it can become a pandemic, and it may lead a paralysis to the life. A few days ago, in the local newspaper, Anandavaya Patrika, we have piece written, another renowned sociologist who said that in 2012 there were already a prediction of such things to come. So trying to defend it, it was not that these could not have come. There were predictions, there were at least some jerkily probably these things. So all our mismanagement or lack of helplessness, so to say, cannot simply be explained by the fact that we were aware of such a thing. then was lacking or why we were lacking in this. Now, many reasons can be given for this, and I will elaborate on some of them. First thing is that I would like to point out two books. One is by Piketty, very interesting book which he has published recently. Here he has pointed out a very interesting thing. A society is not only ruled by the scientific knowledge, it is also ruled by the prominent ideas. And probably the ideology that has been guiding us, probably after the Second World War, is that the of this world is more universe. Strong anthropomorphic view also to say, where we are the relentless drive of expanding tour of economy. I am an economist myself. I teach my students, I taught my students about growth theory, about the emphasis of increasing about how we have been able to solve the problem of food scarcity, about how we should emphasize on the per capita income and so on. But probably focusing on it, we have not properly focused on the problem of environment. Why not? We are environmental economies, we have environmental concerns, we have many environmental needs going on. True. You go through all those summits and all those sociological or economical things, one thing is common. They were protection of the environment. What we call sustainable development, the definition still exists in our economic statement. That is, sustainable development means the future of or the future generation to live with the same comfort as the present generation. And that is why we should protect nature, protect the natural resources for future generations. We should go for sustainable technology. We should able to use less technologies and so on and so forth. So if you look at the stone of all these exercises, you will find the one thing common. Tend to protect the environment for human beings. But we have never thought that the human being himself has to be protected. Environment does not mean that the nature has to be protected for human. It has also very dangerous meaning that human has to be protected for himself. Again, you see when if we go to the pages of all those reports and documents, noble meaning works in economics, you always see that there is nature, that protection of nature always emphasizes the macro aspects of nature. It may be the protection of vegetation, it may be plant species, it may be the melting of the polar ices, it may be about the global warming. But we have forgotten that the nature is not filled with macro aspects. In fact, according to the modern, this has been proved long ago, that more things in this world is probably microbes, which we cannot see except through the microscope. And it is seen that if you disturb their habitat, what will they do? I give one example. Some Antarctic ice is being melted. Now, deep inside the ice, there are various forms of microbes which have been dormant since centuries. Jurassic Park, how the dinosaurs gene was activated. Now, it was a hypothetical thing, but it has a very we did not see then. It is true that a great macro animal like dinosaur cannot be eliminated, but what? The virus bacteria whose virus, or we know it is not really a full life form, it is merely a genetic structure which can become a life body. So the virus and the bacteria that has remained dormant in the Antarctic ice for ages, if they come to life, what will happen? You must know. It will certainly find its host, and that host may be the fatal, what may be the consequence of man, we do not know. Similarly, if we are destroying the Amazon forest, we are concerned about the animal species and it is good. But never through all our economics or sociological books, we are not concerned about the bacteria that thrive on the Amazon forest. What will happen to them? Unlike the Amazon crocodile or the Amazon black, they will soon find its own space. They will soon find its host body. It will practically start. And so we are in the forefront of inviting newer and newer type of viral and bacterial attack. Sustainable development has been wrongly understood by man. It is not only the way to protect nature so that the future generation can enjoy it. We must be able to protect the wave of relations that nature has presented. If we break the wave, nature will establish a new way. What will happen in the new way? What will happen to human being in the new way? We had a mad cow disease in Europe. It was a strange disease where just the genetic pattern of the cows were changing and they were simply dying. We all know that our gene has a mirror image. A neutral. So if we place a mirror image of the gene, it will look like gene, but it will be devastating. We all know that sugar has its mirror sugar, poisonous. So that has been produced by scientists. So similarly, all life forms, they have a mirror image. So viruses and bacteria are mirror image and the natural. So it is not that nature has given us warning. Nature had given us warning long before. It had given SARS, it had given SARS. And we the main reason behind the warning. We even today we are blaming a particular country or a particular region. Now it is very foolish to do so. Recently, according to a recent document published, there are many hosts of this COVID virus, and the three hosts are cow, and bats. Now we claim that the Chinese are infected by the bats, but cow, we all eat the milk of cow. They probably Hindus do not eat beef, though it is used all over the world, but we drink the milk of cow, and we all know that the milk of cow contains. There is very little difference between drinking milk and drinking beef. So we can come to that source. So what is happening about this aura of economic growth and economic development? We have never thought a blink about the intent which the nature has built itself. We have never thought in the sustainable development. We have thought about vegetation, we have thought about forestation, that is that thing happened. Now, many scientists have told us, we see, we cannot do afforestation. We can deforest, but we cannot afforest. Ecologists will tell you that forest is a complex ecology which is built over centuries. So if we cut down forest, we are not cutting down the trees, we are cutting down ecology and notice the area of ecology is the microecology. Macroecology is only a tiny part of it. So the microecology is destroyed. So if we put new or you place new plants. You cannot get back the old forest, get back the old ecology. You know, we know what had happened when water hyacinth is destroyed our farm, which was not as fatal. In Brazil, water hyacinth is there, but it is not fatal because it had spray. In India and other countries, similarly, when the Europeans went to America, the native people they have simply died of smallpox and other diseases. Not have the protection against them. So when we are thinking of ecology, we always thought of the macro ecology. We never thought of the micro ecology. This is the our thinking of ecology. We knew it. We knew it ever since the first food found out the germ. So even before that, when Leeuwenhoek saw it in the first time, we were aware of it, but we simply whisked them away. I can just compare ourselves to a Gulliver who has went to the land of Egypt. He is very big and the Lilliputians are tiny. But if you have read Gulliver's Travel, you will see that the Lilliputians can blind the eyes of us. So we generally look down at something which is tiny, which is micro, which is invisible. We think that they are really invisible. Unfortunately, they are not invisible our naked eye. But the ecology they pose, the structure they pose, if we are destroying them as we have done it, the standard textbook of economics or social science, I have never seen, sorry to say, that any being of is devoted how this economic development affect the micro satellite and how such goes back on us. We have never. We have studied the growth curve of India, GDP per capita of India, 10%, 12%. Have we studied the creation of our forest? Have we plotted that graph side by side? Never. We have seen how the two species of fly, the
Hello, sirs.
London, one became blackish. So
Hello,
similarly,
sir.
hello, yes, these are the is one of the perspectives, probably that is we always accustomed to think in a Gulliverian way, in the Gulliver and things which are Gulliverian to us. But we do not look at the tiny microsms which are majority. In fact, our body has so now about the impact of the COVID, the second part, which I would like to devote more. See, here again, there is a very strange thing that is happening. I have the original name of our paper was the tale of a bloodsucking story of COVID-19. I said that it would not be nice to put such a thing on the webinar. But why I given that? You see, when it spread, I I can find it very good imagery with the Bram Stoker's Dracula. When Dracula is infecting somebody, so we do not know how fast whose turn will be. Now, when we come to this social impact, we see a complete cohesion of view from left to right. The human development theories. Hello? শোনা যাচ্ছে না নাকি? Hello. Uh, হচ্ছে দেখো, হচ্ছে। হ্যালো, হচ্ছে। হ্যাঁ, বুঝতে পারছো? এবার ঠিক আছে, বলবো? Sorry for interaction. Now, there is a complete cohesion of views of various types from the hardcore human development theories to the liberalization supporters, to the right development, all sorts. They've all suddenly, this COVID has come to the world, but the pandemic is the famous word, the Europe had seen the ghost of COVID-19. Very strange convergence of views. All are speaking of socialism, all are speaking of even printing money, giving help to the poor, providing the basic facilities, health, education, etc. And even the so-called divergent views, the people who can interact between one another, now we are at the same table, drinking the same cup of coffee. Recently, I was Devraj Rai and Subramanian. That was very interesting. In that, they have questioned the value of life. That life is very valuable, and so lockdown with government support is necessary. Now, unfortunately, I should beg pardon to the big names. Where was the value of life theory gone when we spoke, when we started tobacco production? People. There was also a value of life given then. People thought that people said that you should stop tobacco production because then there was a huge lobby that said, okay, people have invested so much, the money will go, laborers will become unemployed, and all sort of problems. Thought of value of life there. Where was the value of life gone when we set up industries, we have destroyed forests, and it happened in suddenly today, why we are so much concerned about the value of the life? Probably pandemic has inspired. Now, very immediately, one thing that happened in 1989, 90 in the epidemic, which we all read as students. In our underdevelopment class, we have to read Theodore W. Sewell and the debate between Sewell and Sen. And Sewell said that India do not have surplus labor because the epidemic has decimated India. But it did not cause a fall in output. So the infant epidemic had provided a natural experiment, and Sen, of course, protested that. The epidemic was then thought of a natural experiment. So why today then we are so concerned about value of life? Was value of life not important when the was value of life not important when we started when there was a chain when atomic power was built at Siberia by the erstwhile Soviet. Value of life not important when China devastated the Tibetan landscape and built industries and railways and roads here. They are concerned about it. It is a good concern. But I feel that probably in all these concerns, we are missing something follow. Piketty has written his book in 2011, Capital, and then he has written both these books. The issue of inequality. what is the change of the top 10% income and bottom 10%, so forth. And I will webinar. We have our book which will be will be published from Outlay. We have provided a concept of what that is how people look at economics. The economic theories we look at economics from a particular point of view. Maybe that is not the view from which people are looking for. That is our main logic in that. When the SY left government tried to factory move, the government thought that it was creating jobs. People are simply thought otherwise. So that was the class. And another present on that. So people have diverging views about the reality. In recent book he has said about the elephant carve of growth. Here, which has been provided by two economists in 2015, the elephant curve has plotted the percentage of income against the growth. That the top 10% have a growth rate of 27%, the below 10% have a growth rate of 15%, and the middle have no growth. This is the elephant. So the growth we are speaking is size specific. The growth is not similar to naturally. But there is another part which is missed by which we have pointed out in our book. That is top 10 and below 10 is nothing. In fact, it is incomparable. A below 10 in India means I have already a paper which has been published in Orthodox and SMS. So the below 10 it means two states. And the top 10 it means whether you go to Europe for vacation or whether you can go to Bihar. So the absolutely speaking of 10, below 10, top 10 or no, we have to think in absolute terms. Usually teach my students that when we say, see, America is poor in America, richer than in America, poorer than in India, richer than in India, it's true. But we have to speak in absolute terms. The rich in America own planes, cars. The poor in India, according to a definition I got from the LCD, America defined poor as a person who cannot pay the parking charge of his car. Poor means he does not have the basic facilities of a life. He is living in a remote village of Chhattisgarh or Jharkhand or Bihar, where he does not have the he cannot save his son and daughter. He cannot give the nutrition that is necessary for his pregnant wife, the care of his father, or even the minimum that is necessary to feed up his son. So, but even then, if we compare to the 50, growth will also be. Suppose I have zero income, then if I increase by 15 rupees, I have a 15% growth. But my income, if I want to have a 15% growth, I have to earn at least 15,000. So you see the difference. The absolute difference in growth. So there is only a tip of the story. It has to be combined with our partial analysis to get the real truth. Now, respect of COVID in our paper, we say. Now, how do the poor survive? Or what is poor actually? This is some basic. Certainly aware that a poor, when you saw hordes of migrant workers traveling in the roads, but where the invisible, like the invisible ghost, came out in a night of full moon, in night of new moon. Hello, hello. অফ করবো, অফ করলাম। হ্যালো, শোনা যাচ্ছে? আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে। Now, as I have a paper with Sanjay about the Nobel Prize for Origin Talent. Now, prize for poor economy. They've really done a wonderful job, but not in India. This was done now. Uh, uh, what we mean by poor, according to typically there is a synthetic index type of definition which fix a point and all below the relational definition of poverty is first provided by Chambers. Chambers was first pointed out that a poor he survives the relationship that he develops. Professor Subedru Chakraborty have done an excellent work on how the social network develop. The poor spend time to develop social network, even honesty. That because without that social network, you cannot survive. The wage that he is getting, all the education, the health, the livelihood. So poor is not poor if he is supplied by the value which social network. It is that which is sustaining. Network is gone, really becomes a Robinson Crusoe in an island. And unlike the story of Robinson Crusoe, we know the real story of the man who was now one thing is that it is the social network which giving a break to this social network. Now, economics probably following the description of classical mechanism from commodity mechanism. We were assuming in a world of consumers, producers, etc., without understanding that it was that is maintaining. It is not only true for poor, it is true that for the richest of the rich. Those we are well off, we have money, but the money is itself. I am a professor of a college. Sanjay is a professor of a I am professor of university, Sanjay is of college. That is also because of super network. If there were no students to take that subject, you would have no job, nothing else. So all our positions are basically elaborated. And so far, economists have, sorry to say, just as the environmental economists have forgot about ecology of micro world, so the economists have forgotten this social network. We have worked with commodities, we have worked elaborately with all the mathematical models world offered about the various transactions, about the money, and etc. But forgetting that behind all these is the social network which is sustained. There is a famous comment given by Lucas in his book, Growth Theory, in introduction. He said that in order to make progress in life, we have to be like that. So even a Nobel winning first class economist like Lucas is say that social network is very important. Our relative or family, everything is the social network, the social network that we are trying. But commodity criticism, they will solve this. Money they are earning money and spending it. Just buying the thing. Even these arrangements that were made for people on social network. Dhananjay knows him, I know him, and the college wants to express something which is a social network that is beyond all this. So COVID had hardly hit the society. Without this, unfortunately, I see very little discussion. We have to discuss on this, the all of the social network of COVID. And social network that is leading to all these disasters. Now, for the poorest of the poor, their survival depends on the social network. Without the social network, the city cannot survive. And all of us are facing now the problem of social network. We are in what will happen because the first important thing that COVID has made is social distancing. Now, social distancing, what is the I will strongly oppose. Who has corrected it and presented the physical distancing? But the physical distancing is a social issue. Some may say, no, we have internet and all those new education policies are said, but these are, as we have already noted, meaningless. There is another question whether we can afford it or not. That question. I am going to the basic question. That is, internet is not sufficient to replace the physical interaction. You see, the exchange we have, the debate we have, the election we have, is of our survival. Whether we are it or not, if we have more money, more depends on the raw social network. Without monetary transaction, we depend on some refined social network. But ultimately, it is the social network that is sustainable. You don't know when the great actor Amitabh Bachchan was ill, some of my friends so saying he's hospital. My answer to the friend is simple. He's not lucky. He is at the pinnacle of social network. People adore him and social network money. That is all, of course, coupled with his money, and his money can't work with social network. So this social convert with social capital. I will not go to that because capital means a different thing. Capital is a structure which gives a return. There is a problem. Now time is ringing. So if we look at all these problems, the problem of the migrant labor, the problem of the agricultural labor, the problem of the workers, the problem of the petty shopkeepers, the problem of the dying without any aid in India and elsewhere, all these because COVID has brought back occurs to this society. And unless we can build some alternative type of social network, many people are suggesting that unless we can bring in some alternative form of this social network, it will not do. People may say government will not act, government should pay the minimum. Government cannot replace the social network. We economists have made little study about this social network. We have not fathomed it, do not know what to do, except to say the government then, browse them, etc. The government may act, may not act, but social network building, if we had been more concerned, if we had concentrated more, then probably this problem had not been done. So I would end this actually from one of the paper which me and Ashish about the migrant worker. Uh, Here we have given a quotation from Tagore. This is the story of Madhu, the migrant worker. Now, what he has read, very interesting. থেকে দেশ গেছে তার মা মরেছে, বাপ মরেছে, বাঁধন গেছে, পথে বাহির হলো ওরা ভস্ম দিতে রাখে। Very rude and true. I should first take an apology. They are going to the country where their mother died, father died, all died again. They have come onto the road, alone in up, uprooted, root, and here. Okay, I and call for questions.
Hello, sir. হ্যালো।
আমি শেষ করলাম।
ওকে স্যার, ওকে স্যার। হ্যাঁ, আপনি স্যার এটা ভিডিওটা অন করুন স্যার। ওকে স্যার। Thank you very much, sir. Hello, am I audible, sir?
হ্যাঁ, হ্যালো।
Hello.
হ্যাঁ,
Thank you thank you very much, sir, for your erudite lecture. But we are extremely sorry that in between there were some sound breaks. It may be due to inclement weather. In Howrah also there is heavy showers. It's still going on in some parts of Howrah. Some network issues have been there. Uh, but sir, I have understood, and I think most of the participants have understood what you have actually tried to say. And your lecture has erased some of the misconceptions surrounding this pandemic, as well as the economics as a discipline. I would also like to convey my thanks to all the participants for their patient hearing. Uh, and I want to make one announcement for the participants, that we'll put the feedback form in the chat box as well as in the WhatsApp group. You fill up the form and you will get the certificates within a couple of days. Now, sir, since there was sound problems, uh, uh, we have not got many questions, but few were there. I'm raising, sir, one by one. Sir. Shukla Mondol Shah is asking, she's asking regarding sustainable development or economic development and growth concern, people consensus is important, isn't it? Who have misused the earth?
very interesting question. Good afternoon, Mr. I hope you are well. Devasunda is also well. Now, very important, obvious, but unfortunately, the story of development is not this. Democracy came much later than the story of development. Even in India, current scenario. Now, I give without giving a I will give an indirect. In this, again, I will go to this. In the 6th century BC, Ilmoni card, when the so-called and the monarchies were going on, the Buddhists, the Gautam Buddha, people generally say that he is a supporter of democracy. No, power of king. the power of king. But in what way? People might say that, well, the king has his power to distribute wealth among the poor, to feed them, clothe them. See, about 2,000 years ago, he was saying the same. But the second point, the real kings are not like that. The Buddhists knew that. They were totally spending life for the king, Ajatshotru, and etc. We know the famous things about this slave. Das, who have said that I am also a man, Ajatshotru is also a man, but I have this idea. So the second prescription that the Buddhists is that we cannot better if yeah, we should do our duty. What is our duty? The slave owners should pay the slave with humanity. The slave should also treat their masters. Similarly, between all types of interaction, wife, husband, and younger, we should try to be sympathetic. But that sincerity advice given in Monica is still available. Instead of that, all our policies, we should ourselves try to be sympathetic to the human beings around us. I think we help to correct this situation. I have given also the example in my paper which I will just read the last paragraph, very interesting. Uh, uh, Grand conclusion that is beyond the scope of unimportant brainless mortal life. We go to a real life story that had subverted behind the tall headline. It's the story of Monihara and Chapli, small village in the border of Bakura and Purulia district of Bengal. The poor people of this migrant workers are who are in a dire state when returning to their state on foot, sudden and abrupt lockout, reconnecting with their native village and finally bail them out to contact local political parties who made arrangements for their return. A social does not exist. Poor people of two villages teaches us the inside of the father of economics. Adam Smith, in Wealth of Nation, book 1, chapter. Man has almost constant occasion for the health. And next question.
Sir,
Next question.
okay, Professor Niladride is asking a question on self-reliant economy and FDI inflow. What is your observation?
Now, this we are completely true. Uh, First of all, self-reliant now, that is a very difficult definition. And self-reliant will mean that economy produces everything. We have probably to go to the days of caveman when man produced everything. So, self-reliant is that. But what respect do we mean by self-reliant? Then the visions of Gandhi visualize that they are where the public, where the seriously meet most of their demand by themselves. Like now, the meanings of self-reliance. So, it's possible to give me one answer, but in this, as Peter rightly said that in this world, the self-reliance is a very difficult definition. But one definition I can give, without giving self-reliance, you are for economy that may have, should have, or able to have an equitable one-to-one relation that is between two countries. There should not be an asymmetry of economic or political or any other. This we mean by self-reliance. I think that is possible. But mean by self-reliance, supplying everything we want, we have to go to the pavement. Not possible. But if we have economy so that we can adapt to other economies equal thing, so that the political, economically, we are all probably that would be a good idea. Hope for us. As I said, this idea, how do we materialize it? And why we have not yet materialized it then after more than 60 years of existence? The question that we take away from it. But coming to this pandemic situation, we are in, I think, here we need the help of one. That is not a time, not one step.
Okay.
But unlike the other pandemic, we have now much knowledge.
ठीक है.
But that the wisdom that
Okay. ठीक है.
wisdom
Okay.
oh, yes.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Next question. Enjoy next question.
Sanjay, are there any other questions?
Yeah.
Sanjay, are there any other questions? Sanjay, are there any other questions that we have for the resource person? Sanjay, are there any other questions for the resource person? Okay.
Yes, we have questions. Hello.
Yes, Sanjay, you are audible.
Yes, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes,
Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Yes, sir. We have a few more questions. Hello, sir. Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Obhijit Ghosh is asking. Whether the West Bengal economy, at what condition the West Bengal is currently placed now?
About economy or about pandemic?
He has just written whether West Bengal question mark. He has just written whether West Bengal question mark.
This is not a topic on economy. Okay. About this, about pandemic.
In general sense, I think.
Because in economy, we go to another aspect, we cannot answer that. Right?
In pandemic.
According to the latest report that is published by the government of India for the last day, among the major 30 districts in India which are worst, go to the district level data. The West Bengal has only two districts, that is and North 24%. No other district is there. So in that sense, still the district level data say we are not such a states. But there are two problems. First, people are questioning about the amount
ও
of test
রাজশ্রী দাদা
we are
করলাম, দেবশ্রী দিকে পাঠ দেখছি, এবার দেবশ্রী দিকে দেখছি ওকে।
Now the question is about the amount of testing that is done here. Whether that is adequate testing is done here or not. But given the current state of pandemic, West Bengal is still not as at a deplorable level as Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, or maybe Karnataka or Telangana is. But according to the list published, in West Bengal has only two districts, Kolkata, worst and in the Wikipedia also I see that orange, green and
হ্যাঁ,
red
আপনি
mark.
ভিডিও অডিওটা অন করুন, আপনাকে তো আসতে হবে।
So, few districts of West Bengal, three districts besides not to be Kolkata and Kolkata, probably Kujbihar. So, at the current state of pandemic, West Bengal is still at a better condition than other. Now, one reason may be that, maybe one reason is pandemic is still a mainly urban phenomenon. According to the recent data which is published today, 70% of the COVID cases in India happen in the urban area. And mainly a rural state. It is not an urban state as Gujarat is. Still, according to the 2011 census, most of the people
হ্যালো,
the population is low and so we are less affected by it.
হ্যাঁ,
So, next question.
ওকে, ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে, ওকে 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 ওকে।
Next question. Next question.
Next question is from Niladri De. For sustainable global supply chain management, what will be the optimum use of capital force during this pandemic?
Now, this is again a question which is out of this topic. This deals with trade and all those things. Now, very difficult to answer. Because what will be the optimal, again, depend on what we think is optimal. If you think an optimal in which the mainstream economy is, obviously capital will go to the place where there is higher student and that is most of the development. Still, and the question of optimality is difficult to state and difficult to posit. Now, what will happen? I think that after this pandemic, what will happen? Some will go on, some other. So, it could not come to the question of universal basic income. It may come after this. Because if you go to the robotics, the only way to system is to go to the universal basic. So I am not going to that. Now, it is a very difficult question to answer. Some of our that there is some system from China, etc., but still no scientific paper has come about the extent of shifting or the amount of some that China has already recovered from this shock very fast. Very early to make any comment about pandemic or what will happen. It will depend on a lot of factors, the risk factors, the containment factor, then a new cost will enter in economics, of course. Uh, about labor cost, now we'll also think about the degree of infection cost. What will be the infection cost? That will also become an important coming towards years. That has to be calculated or calculated before making any. So in that way, we do not know how the situation changes. Infection cost will become an important ingredient in the future microeconomic and also in the macroeconomic reallocation of capital. They will think not only of profit, probability, risk of infection. That would be an important dilemma. Even though we may go for vaccine or etc., we cannot use the. Okay, next question.
Okay. Next question is asked by Professor Ashish Kumar Pal. He has two questions. First one is what could be the major initiatives? What could be the major initiatives that may correct our economy? And the second one is it possible that India is seeing a paradigm change and the Indian dream is changing? Maybe now India finds a model to follow in China. These are the two questions asked by Ashish Kumar Pal.
The questions are Ashish are asked interesting questions. But what we mean by following China and etc., I do not know. Go to the textbook of economics. Now, what will be a change of Indian dream and etc., we still do not know. That's it. Still when our production will start and how our start. Obviously, again, the last question, there will be a new element in economics, that is the risk of cost of inflation. That will always be counted by all capitalists, all laborers, by all employers, so, and by all market. This, there are many scenarios. Some have said that there may be the case that, like the Second World War, there may be a process, people avoiding large cities and going to villages, maybe people building their villas or etc. We do not know. So, for the Chinese model, I do not follow that what we need. Uh, that is the, but obviously the basic healthcare system, but that is again healthcare system and etc. The point that we have made. Actually, again, that is our healthcare system. Till today, I will say it is weak. People here, but the mechanism, the social network mechanism that connects the health to the people, aids are captured by people who have asymptomatic COVID, maybe not so severe. That we all know that a very few percentage of COVID people, 84, 86% do not. Among those who need hospitalization, very few need admission to critical units. Very few. There are reports coming in from Italy and USA. People are choosing for ventilators. We say that they're very few, but do not need bed, do not need all the why is it go? So there are serious social networks. There can be temporary hospitals because in India, they work with anyone. Yeah, no, quarantine is simply not possible in this country. Crowded place. We all know that 2011 census. So that should have been the primary necessity. Abhijit Banerjee told in his first discussion in TV. That has to be, we need to utilize the hotels, the university building, the college building, the place the poor, suitable isolation. That would have been done. That is, rush to hospitals. no less. So this social network, when outbreak of COVID, why the government is not capturing all these things? They rightly said that we should not think of private property. We should property and provide those people who are asymptomatic or who live in those areas. In this area, you know that sort of he's ready to take. So this temporary hospital, because temporary hospital is one of the key to the Kerala model and the Chinese model and South Korea. We saw that we read that Chinese brought out a 4-star hotel within hospital. No, they have brought out a temporary as type of that social that is unfortunately that is made that so giving all this part that lack of bed and so on and so forth, mismatch and these private hospitals are taking about the whole management was there. Management of the COVID patient, then probably this problem would have been reduced much, much. Yes. Next question.
Okay, sir. Orijit Malakar is asking the next questions. He's writing, Professor Harare mentioned in his book, The Brief History of Mankind, that farming is the most destroying step for mankind. Sir, do you agree with this regarding this pandemic situation?
No, actually, what Harare said is not actually what Harare much before that. Harare has popularized it because he wrote a very popular book called Homo sapiens. This was told by the astrologist much before that. Farming led to a settled life and settled life led to disease. Now, about this exact comment that I not comment because in every step in civilization will be given. If we did not have factory, we would not have destroyed forest. So that is what history has commented. That the path that the history has followed was not easy. At every stage, there were a lot of unfortunately that possibilities were not being ignored by those in power. They were not being explored by those in power. Now, farming is devastating because it is the farming that gave the civilization what we are. But together with that, proper attention of play. Because before farming, we did not have contagious disease because people were nomad. True. But people died of hunger. The problem that we have today, life versus life, as I say. That is the same as today farming and hunting your life uncertain. You may get a hunt, not get a hunt. People did not life expectancy was very low. Farming provided a stable source of income, a stable source of livelihood, live, and that was the basis of development. So we cannot say that, but there are various possibilities of arrangement and each and with these we have chosen a possibility. Our profession, our service, economy, only road. That is what makes it easy. That we were not the only road. There were possibilities. There are still possibilities. There is no quicker fix, as leaders say, that there is no, all should follow the same path. That is true, but alternative paths are possible, where possible, still possible, are possible, will be possible. Whether we are able, whether we choose our destiny to destroy ourselves, that cannot be. But we cannot say that there was no other path. This is the only path.
Okay. So, I will take only a few more questions, because there is paucity of time. Manjari Khan is asking about the education system. She's asking, the education system totally became online based because of this pandemic COVID-19. What is the impact of this pandemic in the rural areas of our country? What can be the probable solutions?
What is that? Yes. What? Rural areas.
What can be the Yes, what is the impact of this pandemic in the rural areas of our country, and what can be the probable solutions?
So the question is also visible on your screen, so you can read the question also.
And actually, I did not have time. The first work that Ashish and I did was on migrant labor, and the second work that we did is about the rural economy. Now, I did not have time. I had those papers. You can read that paper. That paper is published in mainstream. Okay, Manjuli. So I am actually Ashish have done a very extensive survey. This is a quick survey. It is not mathematically very statistically very sound, but it was a quick survey. 120 people were surveyed in the village. There were farmers, 20, small shoppers, construction work, weaver, milk, middleman who sell milk, and fishermen, 2020. Now, we are some data. Out of this, say, they had to depend on loans. And most of these cases loan is informal. Out of these people, 60% were BPL holders, that means 60% are RSKY holders. Those are the persons who will get the help from the government, and government has help. Now we come to about these small shoppers. It's a better story. 85% are bank loan, but 15%, 85% do not get the BPM facilities. 30% give RSKY, so that means 70% of the small shopkeepers they do not have the government. Very deplorable situation. Only 20% get some loans, including even informal loans. The reason is simply because they do social contract because they are migrant. 40% are BPL holders, that means 60% are non-BPL. 55% are RSKY, slightly better. Givers. 95% get the loan facility. We may be elated, but most of these are Mohajon. The 95%, most of them are Mohajon. BPL are 65 are RSKY, slightly better. Milk distributor, situation is very, very bad. Only 10% access to loan, any type of loan, normal, informal. 30% are BPL holders, that means 70% are non-BPL holders. 50% are RSKY. 70% of loan, but that loan is from the wholesalers of fees, not from bank. The bank loan is again tiny. 70% loan is there, but that is from the wholesale. 6% are RSKY. Now, so on the whole, we have questioned that in spite of the government services, that is the government misery condition, we had a scale, 0 to 1 scale, 0 to 10 scale, and those who are below that, we have said that they are. Now we have found that 80% of the farmers say they are miserable. 90% of the small shoppers they are still miserable. 75% say they are miserable. 85% of the weavers, so 65% of the middleman of milk, and 70%. So you see the condition of the very devastating. Most of the people are at a very, this is about the village of Gaurhati. This may differ. So therefore, we concluded they are the marginal workers, small stakeholders and sellers, they are very deplorable conditions. So unless governments take some steps, economy is all set to enter into a great. This is about this rural economy.
Oh, okay, sir. You have the last questions asked by Shubhas De. You give a short answer, very quick answer to this. How can we improve the economic condition of the migrant workers? It's a
Yes.
big thing, I think, sir. But you try to, sir, give it in a uh, give it a short answer.
Yes.
How can we improve the economic condition of the migrant workers?
Yes. How?
Hello, sir. Am
Yes.
I audible, sir?
Sir, economic condition of the migrant workers.
Yes. How can you improve the economic condition of the migrant workers?
Improve.
Improve.
Now,
It's a big one, I think, sir.
yeah. It's actually a difficult question. Uh, Again, if I go to our survey of the migrant workers,
This is the last question, sir.
last question. So I can share my done with
Yes.
Ashish about the gold miners of Ahmedabad who have returned. Daniel from Gauhati, Ashish has made a good survey. So firstly, to the 15 to there are 100-year surveys, 30% are there between 15 to 25, 30% between 26 to 30, and 63% are and 7% are above. What is the average family size and so on and so forth? The years of schooling is very interesting. 5% have more than 12 schooling. That means they are, most of them have Madhyamik or below Madhyamik. That is 90% are not Madhyamik, at 8 and 43% are 8. It's a very bad condition. Now, next thing, the housing condition. 57 have a kacha house, that means not mud built house, 33% of the house. About the father's occupation, that 74% are from agriculture and come from workers. And their condition of the, that means 74 agriculture and non-farm, their fathers occupation, ancestors. Now landholding is very interesting. 53% were marginal, 0 to 40%. 50% are small, that means 88% are very small and little can be done for agriculture. Now there any other source, that is their dependence ratio is very high. 58% of dependency ratio of 4 is to 1. One worker has to be, and 32% of 6 is to 1. And 10% is more high, 10 is to 1. Now, doing a, they have asked a very interesting question, their ability to work in other sectors. Now, we have seen that most of them are from the informal sector and from the rural, but they have lost the ability to work. The data show that 79% show that they cannot work that in agriculture. They are unable to work in the rural non-farm sector, and 72% overall cannot go to any other work. So that is a very, very big condition they have. Any other work sector. At that time, they have shown a great inability to go back, but now they are going back. 55% are unwilling to go back. They can't respond. So that means these workers are poor workers, they are marginal workers, they are highly dependent on agriculture and non-farm sector. have very little education facilities, and moreover, working in those fields, they have become so skilled that it is very difficult for them to work. Moreover, they do not have job card, granted they work, sometimes they take loan to do their work. So, my partner, how to improve their job? That is a very difficult question. The first thing is, as Rai and Subramanian have said, they must be provided a minimum benefit scheme, maybe in health, or of social security scheme to be provided to them that you have to work necessary. Government should add. Secondly, there could be a negotiation because there will be migration. There could be a negotiation with the employer for provision of better housing, improvement of wage, improvement of facilities, etc. But the problem is that if they are not citizen of the place in which they work, they do not have the ration cards. So there should be a universal ration system. Maybe everything should be linked with Aadhaar because Aadhaar without so facilities should be linked with Aadhaar, not with RKVSI or etc. And they should be given some rights. Otherwise, in our political system, if we have no right to vote, we have no right at all. So they should be given some minimum rights. The rights that the citizen enjoy in their home. There also may be a system of flexible citizenship available in many parts of the world so that they vote because now the electronic system they can vote from their workplace without having to come in vote. So these are the few things that can be done. Arranging for a better economic contracting facilities, provision of social security system, giving them more rights, giving them in terms of rights. Because unless you give them rights, nothing will happen. Because the political democracy that we have, rights and citizenship are very important. Everything you can claim only by that. If you cannot register a complaint in a local police or court. I have one very bitter experience. Last time I went to Chennai for a seminar, a taxi driver cheated me. I went to complain. Gladly told me if you don't complain in Tamil, I will not complain. So this was a shocking experience that I had. The Indian citizen, I cannot complain. Not that means I am as good as an alien. In spite of that, I was a research scholar from ISI, one of the reputed university. I was a resource person at the Madras School of Economics, where I have been called resource person. In spite of all these and other blah blah. Just so this is the main problem. That is citizenship rights should be flexible. It should not be. Actually, there was a great debate in the that what should be the citizenship right and what how should we should tackle provincialism. But no conclusion was found. There was but we should make some provision. We should not depend to such say that Kerala government is doing a human way, Rajasthan government is doing. We should not depend on the state. Right on the citizenship rights must be encoded for the migrant in the first so that they can enforce their rights. Without that, we just because they could not. I mean, as we have a value. Okay. You have answered the question in a very scale.
So the question answer session, the question answer session is now over. Thank you, sir, again. I would now like to invite my departmental colleague, Professor Deboshree Sarkar, to deliver the vote of thanks and close the program.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Sanjoy De, for inviting me to deliver the vote of thanks. I think it's a great honor for me to propose the vote of thanks to all who have helped us in making this program a resounding success. First of all, I would like to give sincere thanks to our honorable speaker, Professor Dr. Atanu Sengupta. We have been illuminated and enriched through his valuable speech. Thank you, sir, again. I wish to sincere thanks to our principal, Dr. Shantu Kumar Bose, and Sri Kalipada Mondol, the president of governing body, and Sri Nadebashi Jana, the member of governing body of Shampur Siddheshwari Mahavidyalaya, for his constant moral support. I also wish to express my gratitude to the coordinator, Professor Rajoshi Mukherjee, and all the members of IQAC of Shampur Siddheshwari Mahavidyalaya. Professor Mridul Ghosh, Department of Computer Science, and Professor Prosenjit Da, Department of Zoology, also deserve a special thanks for their technical support. I wish to offer thanks to all the participants of different college and university for their cooperation and active participation in this program. Finally, my wholehearted thanks to my departmental colleague, Dr. Sanjoy De and Professor Bilu Purokai for their restless effort to help us make this program being successful. With the ending note, now I would like to close the program here. Once again, thank you very much to all.
Thank you, my dear participants. On behalf of the IQAC cell of Shampur Siddheshwari Mahavidyalaya, good evening to all of you. Stay safe, stay home, and stay happy. Thank you very, very much for being with us in this webinar. Thank you. We're ending the broadcast now.